If you want the fastest expandable storage for your Xbox Series S or Xbox Series X, it's going to come at a premium price, and you better get your wallets ready. Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about those expansion cards that Microsoft has been talking about that are going to be sold for the Xbox Series S and Series X. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll throw a picture up on screen right now. You guys can see it up on screen. There's like these little, the cute little storage drives, that basically slip in the back of your console as expandable storage. So just to clarify, in case anybody's confused, you do not need to buy this. The consoles have built-in internal storage, but what's special about these drives specifically is they're using a similar technology, which is a very, very fast SSD. I believe these are also NVMe SSDs, and they're fast, right? They're faster than using an external hard drive, through USB. So I mean, while I believe they confirmed you can still use your USB external hard drives, this would be the fastest solution. So one of the biggest things about next gen consoles on both PS5, Xbox Series X, Series S, one of the biggest things that everybody's boasting about is faster load times, right? Games are going to load faster when you're in a game itself. Let's say you fast travel in a game or something, those things are going to load faster, like within seconds, compared to whatever it was right now. I mean, it's a pretty significant difference in some instances. You can see some comparisons online with like the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X or Series S. They're both going to be using the same SSD. The only difference between the Series X and the Series S is the space of the SSD, which is probably why you're going to want to get one of these expandable hard drives. Again, you could just use a USB expandable hard drive as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure they already confirmed that. I don't see why you couldn't. But again, if you want the fastest drives, similar to what's already built into the system, which is, a big selling point of the system is, super fast loading times, then you're going to want one of these expandable cards. And so the Xbox Series X comes with 1 terabyte built in. If I remember right, though, I believe you're only going to have about 800 and something gigs of free space because the operating system uses a good chunk. Can't remember where I've seen that, but I mean, that's pretty standard on all consoles. You don't typically have the full amount of space. Like if you have a 1 terabyte PS4 or 1 terabyte, Xbox One, then if you delete everything, or when you first booted up your console and if you went into storage, you'd see you don't have quite 1 terabyte. You have probably like around 900 gigs or 800 and something gigs, right? So that's going to be typical. But what's going to cause a problem with Xbox Series S users with that is that's not going to leave you with much space. You're going to have about 400 and something gigs left because the internal hard drive on the Series S is only 500, and I think it was like 512 gigs or something. It's just like slightly over 500 gigs. So you're going to probably want expandable hard drive space, especially because the Xbox Series S is all digital, so you can't even use discs on it. Now, I do want to clarify one thing before we go any further. In my last video, I was talking about other developers talking about, their concerns about Series S being a bottleneck or whatever. I'm not getting into that in this video. You can watch that video if you want. And that was just basically, I was just talking about what other developers were saying. I am in no means putting down the Xbox Series S or downplaying it as, a valuable product. And if you guys have been around long enough, I'm not a fanboy of anything. I just love games. I'll play anywhere. I have preferences here and there depending on the situation, depending on the games, depending on the console generation. But typically, I love PlayStation. I love Xbox. I love PC. I love Nintendo. I just love gaming, right? Okay, so I want to put that forward. I have no bias when I make these kind of videos. I'm planning to play both consoles. I'm really excited for both consoles. I think they both offer different kinds of value, and the Xbox Series S is a very valuable product. I mean, what, $299, $300 for entry level next gen gaming, 1440p, not quite 4K, but still higher than 1080p. It's typical 1080p, up to 120 frames per second. It's a great value, great price. And then with Xbox All Access, if it's available in your country, you could pay, I think it was what, $25 a month for like 2 years or something. And then you also get Xbox Ultimate Game Pass as part of that, which gives you access to Xbox Live Gold and a huge library of Xbox games through Xbox Game Pass. So it's a great value. But like I said, because it's all digital, because it's only about 500 gigs, which the operating system uses a chunk, so you'll probably have 400 gigs roughly left of free space, you're gonna probably want expandable storage. Now, according to these leaks, this expandable storage is gonna cost you a pretty price, almost as much as the Series S itself, which is actually crazy. So at that point, well, at that point, you're still getting more storage than the Xbox Series X, but at that point, you might as well just get a Series X, in my opinion, but it depends on, you know, your preference, obviously. So, according to this rumor, I'll throw it up on screen right now. This is what Windows Central had to say. They said the move means next generation storage can't be expanded through traditional SSDs, requiring this Seagate branded cartridge to add to your onboard storage instead. However, NVMe PCIe 4.0 technology doesn't come cheap, with an alleged GameStop leak via Reddit now suggests a retail price of $219.99 on the 1 terabyte Xbox storage expansion card. So pretty pricey, but honestly reasonable. There's nothing in this price that suggests to me that it's fake. If you're familiar with pricings of, you know, NVMe SSDs for PCs, for example, it's right around in that ballpark. Obviously, with any kind of leak, you got to take with a grain of salt. It's not confirmed. It's not official from Microsoft. It could be this price. It could be more. It could be cheaper. I don't know. But it sounds real. It sounds like a realistic price that it would be 1 terabyte drive, around 220 bucks USD. If you look up like a 1 terabyte, you know, Samsung NVMe SSD, is probably around that, you know, that similar price, you know, maybe a little bit more expensive than that. So, you know, you're probably getting a little bit of better value in this. It's probably a little bit cheaper than your typical NVMe, but it's, again, still around that ballpark. So, you know, that pricing for that kind of technology, unfortunately, is, you know, kind of typical. It's unfortunate that it costs that much, but again, that kind of technology for SSDs typically is pretty pricey. It is a premium price, if you will. So it's kind of unfortunate because, especially like I said, if you're an Xbox One, sorry, not One S, if you're an Xbox Series S buyer, you're planning on getting that console, especially with Xbox Game Pass, which you're gonna have access to a library of all these different games that you're gonna probably want to, you know, play. 400 gigs is not going to go far. I mean, the console itself is 512 gigs, but like I said, operating system takes probably at least about 100 gigs or so. You're left with about 400 gigs. I mean, if you don't believe me, just check the Xbox One, the PS4. You know, when you first boot it up, like I said, you know, whatever hard drive space your console is, you're typically going to have probably like 100 gigs less than that of available free storage. So you got to keep that in mind as well. You're not quite getting 512 gigs of free space, or 1 terabyte if you're on a Series X. So I don't know. Like I said, you know, you're probably going to want to be able to get this, and at that point you're almost paying the same price as the Series S itself, which is kind of mind-blowing if you think about it. It's kind of crazy. If it is, you know, if this price is true, like I said, it's a leak, take with a grain of salt. It could be fake. It could be cheaper. Hopefully it's cheaper. I really do hope it's cheaper, but it makes sense for this kind of technology. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys plan, first of all, do you plan even on picking up a Series S or a Series X? Are you going to wait a while? Are you going the PS5 route? What's your plans for next generation console gaming? And if you do get a Series S or a Series X, especially if you're getting a Series S, I'm curious, are you going to get one of these expandable storage cards, or are you going to just kind of, you know, use like a USB external hard drive? Which, again, keep in mind, if you are using like anything else but this kind of SSD, it's not going to be as fast, right? Which, I mean, if you're fine with, that's fine. But if you want the fastest loading times, right, especially with I can't remember what they're calling it, but basically how you can switch between multiple games like pretty quickly. I forget what they called that, but if you want to do that, right, obviously that's something that uses the SSD technology in the consoles as well. So any games that you would have on an external hard drive, you know, via USB, are not going to load that kind of, you know, at that kind of speed. So that can be, you know, and maybe it's an issue for you, maybe it's not, maybe you don't even care about that. If you don't care about that, then by all means. But if you want the fastest, you know, loading times, you want the fastest, you know, SSD hard drives, then, you know, if you want to expand your storage, you're going to have to go with one of these premium priced expansion cards. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you plan to pick one of these cards up if you're getting a Series S or a Series X, or, you know, I don't know. Let me know your plans in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, guys, new. If you guys are new to the channel, we do a bunch of variety of gaming content. Obviously, gaming news, like kind of this style of video. Also, you know, Let's Plays and gameplays, things like that as well. So a little bit of everything for everyone. So anyways, I'll see you guys very soon in another video. Hopefully, you guys are staying safe, staying well. And until the next one, my friends, game on. Thanks for watching.